Hi. So over Independence Day weekend, India's Independence Day weekend, I decided to go ahead and watch Mohenjo Daro in theaters. And this is my review of it. But before we get into it, I'd like to state all the Indian movies I've seen so far. From this year, I've seen 34 Bollywood movies. And they are Airlift, Aligarh, Azar, Baji, Buddha in the Traffic Jam, Chudale Story, or Chudal Story, Fan, Fitor, Gayal once again, Jugni, Kapoor and Sons, Ki and Ka, Kyakule Hum 3, Love Games, Mohenjo Daro, Masti Zade, Miss Teacher, Nirja, Nil Batista Nada, One Night Stand, Rocky Handsome, Sala Kadus, Sanam Ray, Sanam Tariq Islam, Santa Banta, Sabjeet, Sultan, Teen, Terra Saror, Terra Bin Laden, Dead or Alive, Traffic, Uttar Punjab, Waiting, and Wazir. Let's get back into Mohenjo Daro. Like I like to do, I talk about different aspects of the movie, I give you my experience, and then I give you my rating at the end. So the story of Mohenjo Daro. Mohenjo Daro is about Hrithik Roshan, who plays a boy who goes to Mohenjo Daro, the city. He feels like he's been there before. It's very familiar. He falls in love with a woman. There's an evil ruler. And the story goes on from there. Like I said in the trailer, I expected something different, something grand, and I said I got the same old story. It's a story of the guy falls in love with the girl and defeats the bad guy. That's what I said since the beginning. And it also added in the other Bollywood twist of the girl is engaged to another guy. How many times have we seen this? In which a guy and a girl fall in love, but we find out that she's arranged to another person. And usually it's a rich person and or a person with power, such as a PM's son. And this time it turns out to be the Chief Senate's son. So it's like, okay, we've seen this before. They fall in love so quickly, so fast, and it's just a weak love story. There's nothing new, there's nothing interesting, and I found it to be quite bland. I found the whole story to be quite bland, to be honest. And I think one of the problems with it was the dialogue, because as I said before, we've seen this before, but I'm not bothered by seeing something before. If they can retwist it, innovate it, make it different, that's fine. As you can see, he took it to another period in time. Okay, that's great. But the biggest problem with the story for me was the dialogue. I found the dialogue to be so boring. I found the dialogue to be just, I personally didn't even want to read it. And I hate to admit it, I missed a couple of lines and I didn't care. Because, one, if you already get the story, you don't need to read everything. And two, what's going to keep you interested in reading everything if it's interesting to read? And so it was not interesting to read for me. In terms of the acting, I thought Hrithik Roshan did a great job. I actually like Hrithik in this. In terms of people I've seen this year, she's the one who stood out to me the most, in which I felt like, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing her in another movie. So I was like, I liked her. I liked her in this debut. I even liked them together. I thought Hrithik and Hrithik looked good together. I really did. And so I just felt bad that they didn't really get a storyline, a love story that was really compelling and gripping. So I wouldn't mind seeing them together in another movie, but just better writing. That's all I ask. The songs is really what got me to go watch this movie. When I saw the trailer, I didn't want to go see this movie. I didn't. Because, here's my thing. I felt that it could be a 5, which is my highest rating. But I also felt that it could be a 1. And so, it's too much risk involved in that. And then it's Ashutosh Gavarkar length, which just means long. And then I recently moved. Before it would have been 15 minutes to get to the movie theater. Here it's an hour. And so I really have to put thought into if I want to go see a movie nowadays. And so I didn't want to spend money on that. But when I saw Sasaria, I said, yeah, I want to see this movie. Because not only were the songs great, I actually liked the way the videos looked. I actually liked the direction of it. I liked the way Pooja Hands and Hrithik Roshan looked together. They looked so cute together. I actually believed that from the songs. And I said, you know what, at least it'll be a good love story. It'll be good direction. It'll be great songs in the movie. That's what really convinced me to drive an hour and watch this movie. So in terms of songs, Sasaria didn't even play in the movie. I was so sad. I was so disappointed. Only 2 songs are in the movie. I thought we at least got 5. Only 2 songs. And so I was so sad about that. And Mohenjo Daro and 2 hits in it, and that's great. That was the time in which I smiled the most. When those were playing, and then I just went back to just watching the movie. I thought the music was good. I wanted more, but then that would have made the movie longer. But I probably would have enjoyed it more if it had more music. In terms of those costumes, y'all, I swear, when I saw the trailer and 3 songs, I never had a problem with the costumes. Never had a problem. And then people would be in comments saying the movie looks bad, it's not authentic to its time. And I wrote back to someone saying, in terms of education, it would be better because you would learn more if it was more authentic. But even like a movie as Bajirao Mastani, I don't know if it was authentic or not in terms of the dress, but it was beautiful, so I wasn't bothered. And so for me, whether it was realistic or not, I wasn't bothered. But then I saw it in the movie. And when you see it in the movie, it kind of looks ridiculous. It does. It just felt like costumes. And I know it's called costume designer, but it's not supposed to feel like costumes. It's supposed to feel like that character's attire. It also felt like Project Runway Mohenjo Daro challenge, because it's like they were saying, make something high fashion based on the times of Mohenjo Daro. And so people at the time used to use rope, so I'm going to wrap some rope about his clothes. Especially Pooja Head. She looked like she was dressed for Project Runway. And in the videos and in the songs, it looks beautiful because maybe it's because you're listening to a song and it just goes along nicely with a song. But when she's just walking the streets in those outfits, it just looks overdone. That movie was accessory overkill. It's like they put on a bad outfit and then they said, stop, let's put a necklace on it. Everything looked like it was bought from like the Halloween section for Mohenjo Daro. Mohenjo Daro was also a place in which Merchants from other countries came there. And so they had people with other ethnic wear, what they thought they would wear, and they looked ridiculous. I thought those people in Moscow looked ridiculous. It looked like they put some outfits on anybody and said just walk across the street. They pushed them out there, and they said just walk. In ridiculous furry vests. They didn't even look realistic at all. Party City, y'all. That was a Party City, Moscow Halloween outfit. Every person from another country looked ridiculous. Just as the people from Mohenjo Daro looked ridiculous. It was a duel. Everyone looked ridiculous in the end. So I never felt a movie in a long time in which I felt people were extras. It just didn't work. People looked out of place. The only people who looked good were Hrithik, Roshan, and Pooja Head because they looked like models. And the runway was basically the whole movie. I LOL'd the most when I saw some of these outfits, y'all. Someone was walking across the screen and I just laughed out loud because I thought her outfit looked ridiculous. There was a guy walking in the background, I just laughed. There was one scene where the guard came around the corner and I just laughed. It was just funny to me. And it's not meant to be funny. It's a scene in which Hrithik Roshan is battling 2 guys. When that guy came out, he's supposed to be the scary guy. But his costume was terrible and his dreads were terrible. And when he turned around, he's supposed to be scared and he's like, ah! And I laughed out loud. I said, really? It was funny to me. I could not take the costumes in this movie seriously. Those 2 guys looked like characters for WWE. I felt like they need to walk down the ramp to like some wrestling type of music. Dun, 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 because they looked like they were dressed up as wrestlers, not these cannibals. When I got over my giggles at the beginning of that scene, the fight was actually really good and I thought it was entertaining. Even in terms of the city, oh my gosh, when they showed the city, it looked like a documentary. It looked fake. It looked like when people set it up for a documentary going, this was the city of Mohenjo Daro. When they want people to see what it looked like, the walls looked like plastic. Everything looked fake. It looked like a fake set. Not at one point did I believe those were real buildings. And that's sad. So the set looked bad, the costumes looked bad, and so it really, I'm sorry. It didn't help that movie out one bit for me. Can I talk about 2 things? The alligator scene and the end of the movie. I can't figure out if it was good or if it was bad. I can't figure out if it was good because it was different or it was bad because it was just ridiculous. Was it good because it was innovative because I'd never seen that before? Or was it bad because I was just stupid? You let me know. So that's everything about the movie, my experience. I went to the movie, I watched the movie, and I left. And usually my experiences are longer because I go through different states, I go through emotions, I feel different things. I felt nothing for this movie, and that's the saddest thing I think you could say. This movie, I was not invested. I was just bored. I checked my time in like less than an hour. And I was like, is it going to get any better than this? And it kind of stayed the same level, y'all. I can't tell you that I was in such pain. I really can't. But I can't tell you that I was enjoying that movie. I hate to tell you that I even pulled out my phone. I was on my phone. I was trying to be on my phone, but the internet service was bad in the theater. But at first, I was looking at my phone. I was like, no, I need to put it away because one, I spent money on this film and I can't go back. But in the end, I put my phone away out of respect for the movie rather than enjoyment of the movie. Let's just get this over with. That's what it felt like. And I could have watched that from the comfort of my own bed, y'all. Really early on into the movie, I said out loud 3. This movie is a 3 out of 5. Later on in the movie, I said this movie is a 2. And I think if I were to be fair, if I were to be nice, I would say this movie is a 2 out of 5. But I know, my Word document, this movie says Mohenjo Daro, 2016, Hrithik, Roshan, put your heads, 1 star. I give this movie 1 star. And I wondered, is it really worth 1 star? Because it wasn't horrible. It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't frustrating. I can't say bad. I think the biggest problem with this movie for me, it wasn't bad. It wasn't awful. The biggest problem with this movie was that it was boring. That's the B word that it suffered from. Being boring. And I blame it, to be honest, on the writing. The best thing about this movie was the acting. But I felt that they were all wasted on a subpar script. Hrithik Roshan was wasted on a subpar script. Pooja was wasted on a subpar script. If you're going for Pooja, wait for her next movie. If you're going for Hrithik Roshan, watch one of his old movies. Unless you're a fan. If you're a fan, you want to see it for sure. But it's not that good. I mean, I don't tell people whether they should see a movie or not. I see a movie regardless. And I personally don't watch reviews until after I see a movie. So people are different. I could have recommended this to someone personally, but that should never stop someone to see a movie. It's not bad, it's just not good. So, yeah. 1 out of 5. If you want to think of it as a 2 out of 5, think of it as a 2 out of 5. For you, it may be a 5 out of 5. It could have been just wonderful. So, if you like this movie, that's great. You can share why you like this movie. Let me know why you like this movie. If you didn't, you can also share why you didn't like this movie. Let's just be respectful in our comments. But yeah, that's my review of Mohenjo Daro. Mohenjo Daro. Anyway, bye.